Medal of Honor was awarded posthumously Thursday to a soldier who gave his life to save another during a mission in Afghanistan. The ceremony was held at the White House in honor of Sergeant First Class Jared Monti. President Barack Obama presented the award to Sergeant Monti's parents. In 2006, Sergeant Monti and his unit were ambushed by dozens of insurgents. He was killed when an RPG exploded nearby as he made a third attempt to rescue a wounded soldier during a heavy firefight.
The actions we honor today were not a passing moment of courage. They were the culmination of a life of character and commitment.
Sergeant Monti is the second service member awarded the Medal for Actions in Afghanistan. Deputy Secretary of Defense William Lynn and other military officials will induct Sergeant Monti into the Pentagon's Hall of Heroes on Friday. That ceremony will air right here on the Pentagon Channel at 1400 Eastern Time. An attack on one is an attack on all. Those words from President Obama Thursday morning as he announced plans to strengthen missile defense. Immediately after that announcement, Defense Secretary Robert Gates addressed the Pentagon press corps and said advances in missile technology and an evolving threat from Iran called for a reassessment of missile defense plans. Air Force Master Sergeant George Maurer has more.
Secretary Gates says the United States will take advantage of missile defense technology that is proven and cost-effective. For example, Standard Missile 3 or SM-3 interceptors, which are already deployed on U.S. Navy Aegis ships today, play a big role in the missile defense plan approved by the President.
We can now field initial elements of the system to protect our forces in Europe and our allies roughly 6 to 7 years earlier than the previous plan.
Secretary Gates also says this plan will take advantage of new and emerging technology as it becomes available. General James Cartwright, Vice Chairman of the Joint Chiefs, added this flexibility is necessary to adapt to changing threats.
One of the realities of life is the enemy gets a vote. And if they don't emerge the same way that you planned 5 and 10 years ahead of time, if you can't adapt, you're left disadvantaged. This system gives us a much more significant and robust capability to adapt to the threat as it actually emerges versus what we would like it to emerge as.
General Cartwright also said the ability to network multiple layers of systems together makes the entire missile defense system better as a whole than its individual parts, and he added the U.S. plan is consistent with NATO's missile defense plan. From the Pentagon, I'm Air Force Master Sergeant George Maurer.
6 International Security Force service members died in a deadly blast in Afghanistan. They were riding in a convoy Thursday afternoon when it struck an improvised explosive device. 10 Afghan civilians were also reportedly killed and more than 50 were injured in the attack. Commander-in-Chief Barack Obama told reporters at the White House Wednesday that a decision on sending more troops to Afghanistan won't be made anytime soon.
General McChrystal has carried out his own assessment on the military strategy, but it's important that we also do an assessment on the civilian side, the diplomatic side, the development side, that we analyze the results of the election and then make further decisions moving forward. My determination is to get this right.
The President's comments follow testimony from the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Admiral Michael Mullen, who told lawmakers on Capitol Hill Tuesday that more forces will probably be needed to defeat the insurgency in Afghanistan. The detention facility at Camp Bucca, Iraq is now closed. Officials say the last 180 detainees were transferred Wednesday to separate facilities or into Iraqi custody. The facility held some of Iraq's most dangerous criminals, including members of al-Qaeda in Iraq. The camp's commanding general says that handing over detainees to the Iraqis is part of the security agreement between Iraq and the U.S.
We've been working very closely with the government of Iraq, hand in hand, so they have an opportunity to vet through the detainees before we release them. And to date, they've returned almost 2,000 arrest warrants on a number of our detainees. So that is tremendously significant, and that has allowed us, since the 1st of January, to come down about 7,000 detainees.
The United States took over Camp Bucca from British forces in 2003. Originally called Camp Freddy, it was renamed after a soldier who died in the 9/11 attacks. Coming up ahead on Around the Services, mystery solved. 150 years ago, a soldier died during the Civil War, and now that service member's remains are finally laid to rest. We'll have that story ahead. But first, camera ready. Secretary of Defense Robert Gates meets with recipients of a special award. Stick around, Staff Sergeant Brian Buckwalter is back with more.